Job is not important. I am important. I realized that. So I let the phone ring. I stayed at home and I let the phone ring for I don't know how many hours maybe. I am important. The human being, not the fucking job. Being somebody's servant or being somebody's master or being somebody's, slave of the money. So when did God come down from the sky and ordered you to be the slave of the money? To be the slave of your job? To be in service? To always be like somebody's servant? Somewhere a servant? When did he come from the sky and from heavens actually? Well, he created the heavens too. Can you imagine what kind of intelligence that is? He created the heavens too. It's not this universe that we live in. There are many universes. There are many places, spaces. I don't know what they are. But you are the slave of the fucking money because you live on earth. You will be my servant, my slave. You will build something for me. You will be the slave of your pension plan. What the fuck is that? And for whom is that like that? You know, many refugees flee to the European Union countries and maybe to America, something like that, to have a better life. But they don't realize that, for example, over here, and even somewhere in France, in England, wherever, people just live a little bit different, but that doesn't guarantee to them that they will live much better. Many people have 2 or 3 jobs. Many people can't, basically they can feed their children, but they're constantly in some kind of debt. Even the Americans, life in America is not so wonderful and shiny. They just like to present themselves as richer than they are, better than they are. Everything over here is better than over there or over there. They just like to do that. But life over there is usually not as it looks like on TV. So as long as you are a refugee, for example, in, I don't know, somewhere in England or in I don't know, Germany, and when you get, as long as you get things for free, you will live better than in your country. But one day when you have to, for example, work for your money, this is a very bad thing for you. So let me ask you one thing. When did God come down from the heavens and above the heavens? So he came down to earth and said, you must pay tax. What tax? I remember that one time somebody told me something and I said, okay, I'll try to I'm going to the tax office and I'm just going to make a little research. And so I did, and I found that in my name, they wrote that I received some kind of, I don't know, like 26,000 something, not dollars, because dollar is not our currency. 26,000 kuna, 20 something that I received it. Well, I've been taught that whenever you receive something, you have to sign for it. I had some benefits from the state, not social welfare, but some other benefits. So they presented these benefits like I received it. I didn't receive anything. I received some help, but I didn't sign anything. So it wasn't only me. It was like, I don't know, like 20, 30 other people. So when we started to ask questions, when we raised the question, suddenly you couldn't get that paper anymore. This is how the tax offices work around here. Plus, I don't know any one single person in my country that I actually met who work in the tax office, who actually got a job at the tax office because it was written somewhere at the job center. They all had parents who worked there. They all had friends who worked there. Or their parents had friends who worked there. So when there is a place available, you go, my son. Oh, the most important thing is that you got yourself a job, and it's in the government office, It's a government office. Tax office is like a government office, yes. Oh, that's the most important thing, that my children are well taken care of. Who takes care of me? Or my cousins, my neighbors, my somebody, huh? Nobody who had a job there, who works there, nobody that I know got a job. It's like a police office too, MUP over here, it's called MUP. So it's like the police office. Her mother died, so she inherited the job, at the police station or something. What the fuck is that? So this is what you do in the democratic country or something like that. It's bullshit. I realized back in the 90s, the end of 90s, I realized, and I said many times, that this so-called democracy is a dead letter on a piece of paper. This is what I said in the late 90s. It's a dead letter on a piece of paper. When you can have a job for like 8 months and they're not paying anything for you, any contribution, like, you have to pay the minimum, you have to pay tax, you have to pay like the minimum for the health service and something like that. You have to pay this minimum thing for the pension and things like that. I know a person who worked for 6 months and she didn't even know that her boss never paid these things for her for 6 months. How can you go to your workplace and look your workers in the eyes every fucking day and demand that they work for you and not do that? For as long as she doesn't go to the doctor, she can stay here and be my slave, my servant. How can you have people employed in your business, in your whatever it is, your company or your business, and not give them salary for like, I don't know, maybe 8 months or something. Oh, we are so humane, like real Christians. You know, what the fuck is that? Who the fuck does that? Everybody over here would love to do that. And I know that this. It comes from the first hand, you know. Because my mom worked like that. And you know, there was always some kind of a fear of, what will I do for my pension? Pension. What? I'm supposed to be the slave of the pension. What fucking pension? Every pensioner I see over here today, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, they're looking at trash. So that's the kind of pension you work for. That's the kind of country you built. Like, you know, you worked like, my auntie worked for 40 years. This, not 14, 40, 40 years to get 220 euros a month pension, and these 220 euros were just her bills. And she had nothing to eat, not to mention that she is old and she needs medications. Fuck you and everybody who invented that. Plus, everybody who invented the division among people. Because children don't live with their parents anymore. Nobody can stand each other anymore. I already mentioned in one of my previous videos, I mentioned this. The moment I became aware of this of myself and this kind of life, you know, maybe somewhere in the kindergarten, something like that, just before school, I think. I realized one thing. Of course, I was a child and I couldn't say that. I couldn't pronounce properly, you know. How do you say that as a child? But I realized one important thing. I realized that, what kind of world is this? Nobody likes anybody, and everybody lies to each other. And a human being would rather die defending his own lie than to tell the truth or die for the truth. The only one actually I know, he wasn't a person, he was just the one that I know of, is Jesus Christ. Maybe there are some other people, but I don't know about them. Only he died for the truth. His apostles died for the truth, you know. All other people, usually, they defend their own lie. They kill somebody for the money. I watched Forensic Files a lot, you know, and it's amazing how many cases there were. You know, these are just, I don't know, maybe a few hundred episodes. But it is amazing how every year you find many cases of deaths linked with money, insurance, like an insurance fraud, you know, she or he married somebody for, I don't know for what, and then kills his spouse, and because he wants $500,000 or $1 million of insurance money, you know, life insurance money. It's bullshit. I don't need a life insurance. Who needs that bullshit? The moment you sign the life insurance, the moment you are, same moment you are in danger, I was watching, Agatha Christie, and her Hercule Poirot, and it's amazing. I watched these movies, and it's amazing that almost every death includes money and some kind of inheritance. Okay, sometimes there is envy, sometimes there is love, jealousy, something, but almost always, it's money, it's inheritance, it's I don't know, something like that. So something connected with money. Money is power. For whom, I wonder? I am important. Not your fucking money or your fucking job. Not your fucking pension plans. What pension plans? You go to pension and you get some kind of disease and you can't pay for the doctor. What kind of plans? What kind of plans are you making, people? What safety and security, huh? It looks to me, it looks like this. Only the richest in the world have good pension plans, future plans, grandchildren plans. Because they're always in the same fucking circle. Seasons jobs. There are many seasons jobs around here because we have the Adriatic coast. Let me tell you something about the Adriatic coast. Something very little. I don't remember which year was that, but all the countries, not all the countries, but I don't know how many countries, the NATO countries and Russia and, oh yes, and Russia too. Because of the problems in the Balkan countries, so-called Balkan countries, because of the wars in the 90s, they signed actually to bomb Belgrade, because, well, enough is enough, First they tried to go to Slovenia, but it ended very soon. Then they made massacres, terrible massacres in Croatia. Then they made even worse fucking thing in Bosnia. And then I remember I lived in London at that time, and I saw on the TV that they attacked Kosovo, See, it seems like the Serbs actually invaded everything that could be, for some reason, invaded, We want to maintain Yugoslavia at any cost. What kind of Yugoslavia is that when everybody wants to get out? And I remember I lived in London then, and I thought to myself, I didn't feel anything. I was just surprised. And the first thought that came into my mind was this. My God, what kind of reputation these people have in the world. This is the only thing that I thought of. They attack this one, they attack this one, they attack this one. So when is this thing going to end? Anyway, they signed, many countries signed for them to be bombed, blah, 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 because obviously this is the only communication you understood back then. So until you feel it on your own skin, you won't stop hitting somebody else, isn't it? So I remember they sent some kind of planes or something from somewhere from Italy. I'm not really sure. And these Italian planes, they carried some kind of bombs. I'm not really the expert on this one. But they carried some kind of bombs with active uranium. And these bombs have to be dropped. They must be dropped. You can't bring them back, you know. And maybe they're rockets or bombs or something like that. And the thing is that the things that they didn't use, they dropped in the Adriatic Sea on their way back to Italy. Something distracted me, but I wanted to say this. On their way back to Italy, they dropped it in the Adriatic Sea. So what happens to the radioactive uranium, active uranium, something like that? It's called something like that. We're a tourist country. They didn't drop it near Malta. They didn't drop it near Sicily. They didn't drop it near La Manche. They dropped it here. Fuck thy neighbor in any way you can. It's not the same sea, you know. The water comes here, but it doesn't go there. How come? You know, people are so stupid. They're actually intelligent, very intelligent beings. But sometimes they're so fucking stupid. And again, it was the job to drop the bomb. In Serbia too, it was a job to invade this one, that one, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to America. It was a job to go to Iraq, to go to Afghanistan. What the Americans have to do with fucking Afghanistan? They've never been there. It's a job. Job is not important. I am. I am important. Oh, the wise man was very, very wise. He knew. When the last tree is cut, when the last fish is caught, you will realize that you can't eat money. They still call me to go back to my old job, my previous boss, this one, that one. I'm a good worker, you know, I do my job, you know, and this is it. But I'm important, not your fucking job. It doesn't matter, this one, that one. Wash the floors or be a minister. It doesn't matter. I am important. Where my heart is, that's what's important. It's not obviously with a job. If it is, oh, you are in a big trouble. Especially if you hate that job. And most people hate their jobs. You don't work for food anymore. You know, food, shelter, or just to be happy. You need theaters. You need to pay for the entertainment. You don't even know how to entertain yourself, do you? You don't know that anymore. But what you do know is how to pay for it. You don't know how to be happy anymore. You think you're happy because you have 6 cars in the garage, because, I don't know, some kind of, the Duke of Edinburgh invited you for dinner. And you probably eat slugs or something at that dinner. I've noticed that the richer you are, the less food you eat, you know. And the poorer you are, the more food you want. Because what will the people say if you get 2 or 3 kilos fat? What will the people say? This is the greatest boogeyman of the rich and famous. And royalty, of course. They are rich and famous, but nobody knows why. The only reason I can think of is go and watch that clip. There was a clip from this Monty Python movie, Constitutional Peasants. The guy comes, there are 2 people in the mud, you know, they're just filthy and sitting in the mud and, I don't know, doing something. And somebody comes there, the King Arthur, yes, and he says, I am your king, you know. And the old woman says, they looked at each other, those 2 people in the mud, they looked at each other and said, huh? We didn't vote for you. Like, we didn't vote for you. You don't understand. I am your king. Kings don't get voted, you know. Kings don't. You don't vote for a king, something like that. This is the reality, you know, of the royalty. What is royalty? Their ancestors, they're very proud of their ancestors. I'm not talking just about just one royal family. There are many royalties in the world. But they're usually very proud of their ancestors. Why? Because their ancestors were just slayers. They were slayers, they were robbers, and it's like some kind of mafia, you know. I came here and you will pay me for protection or something like that. And the constitutional peasants look at each other and say, what? I should pay for you? For what protection? Are you crazy? You know, this is their first reaction. How are you? That I'm supposed to pay somebody for you, you know. If I'm going to pay for you, I'm not going to pay for any taxes, you know. How many payments do I have to give, you know? I don't owe you anything. You didn't make me. You didn't create me. You didn't give birth to me. Who the fuck are you, you know? People run away from their parents too. Why shouldn't I be running away from somebody like you, like a King Arthur? Royalty has nothing to live from, but from what they inherited, in some way inherited, you know. Usually what is robbed, usually it's, if it's money, it's blood money. And their faces actually are all covered in blood. And this is what they are proud of. And this is what you people are bow to. I don't bow to the people. I don't give a shit about some kind of royalty. Because you are nobody to me. You didn't even pay a cup of coffee to me. A homeless man or a woman can buy me a coffee, from the machine, from the vending machine, like, I don't know what is in your country, maybe less than $1, 50 cents, 60 cents, one stupid coffee from the machine. But this one, no, I am your king, you have to give it to me. Because what would I do if you wouldn't be stupid and give to me? I'm so VIP. When I was 19 years old, I went to America, and that was the first time I heard for the expression VIP, oh, this person is VIP. And I didn't know what is a VIP. They suffer so much of hierarchy in America. It's unbelievable. But for me, it's like, so what? It was a woman, and I was like, and she was okay. I met her, but she was VIP. And she was okay, but I was like, what the fuck is VIP? First of all, what does it mean? And secondly, she's just a human being, VIP or not VIP, I don't give a shit. But it's such a hierarchy. Oh, you have to bow to everybody who has some money, more money than you. What the fuck is wrong with you people? This is how you taught your children. This is how, because this is the reason they're so fucking stupid. The world became stupid and stupider and stupider. They can't make a pop song anymore. Just give me a good song. There is no good song. It's all recycled, like cardboard boxes that you recycle into the new paper bags or something like that. It's all recycled music. You can't even make music. You can't even do anything, you became so, it's not actually stupid, it's more like, it looks more like dull. Because when people have too much, when they have too much offer too, and when they have too much, and when they have, you have something to eat, you have somewhere to live, they become very ungrateful over time. Just a minute. They become very ungrateful over time, and the only thing basically they think of is some kind of hedonism. Usually it's sex. They have nothing to think about. Then they think about, some kind of heavenly, like human rights, heavenly ways of living, Now we are going to fly into space. What do you think? You're gonna fly into space when this planet is dead? Your children and your grandchildren will go? You really think so? No. A few chosen people, a few chosen families will go somewhere, and you will be left here as a stupid fucking slave. This is a good thing for a novel. You can't even make a good movie anymore. So here is a free idea for you, you stupid Hollywood fucks, You love to make money. You love making stories, but you don't have any creativity anymore. It's all about money, isn't it? I mean, there are millions of universes in I don't know, space, in everywhere. But it's all about money. Fuck you, everybody. This is my comment. This is my true comment to all of you. I am important, not a job. A job. the job, any job. Fuck off.